All right, guys, welcome back. Game 4 is going to be on Metropolis. Symbol just took down Game 3. He is still trailing 1-2. Ryung is still in a pretty commanding position, but we're going to see if Symbol can even the score.
Will Zerg prevail? And this is Zerg versus Terran.
I don't know.
We shall see.
I don't know, man.
All right, so let's talk a little bit, because I said it last time. The mind games and what your opponent is capable of. A lot of times you say, okay, my opponent, this is kind of the style that they do. And you see this a lot in Terran versus Zerg. You know, you might ask the Koreans, why didn't you go this certain build? Why didn't you defend against something like a Zergling Roach all-in, which we really haven't seen Ryung do. He doesn't really defend against Zergling Roach all-ins with bunkers and things like that.
Yep.
Why is that? It's because they know each other's styles. They understand what they're capable of, what they like to do. So showing that one base aggression, what that allows him to do is do a lot of mind games. So he can actually put a command center inside his own base, hide command centers, do things like maybe even proxy command centers, ninja expansions, things like that. And all of a sudden, because his opponent knows he's capable of doing a one base, he's going to say, okay, I might have to defend against this one base. Let me go ahead. Like last time we saw roaches, we saw double upgrades, but we saw a delayed third. What if I actually put a ninja expansion somewhere? I've gone for an economic route. All of a sudden, you've put so much investment in defending against something that isn't even coming. I have a big advantage in terms of economy. That's the type of mind games that we can see. And that's why I really like last game. Even though Ryung lost, he still performed an excellent build order.
Yes, sir. And we do see a proxy barracks coming up. Not really going to do much with it, I think. He's not getting a second barracks. He's just placing his first barracks a little bit strangely so that Symbol gets in. He doesn't see the barracks, but I think that SCV was a little bit of a giveaway. So yes. Symbol did see that, so he knows, you know, nothing's happening. But again, that's just like a little bit of mind games from Ryung. He kind of messed up with the SCV there, but you know, if he didn't get that, Symbol would go and see no barracks in the main base, so he'd be kind of scared and think, oh my gosh, there might be like double proxies or something, and he'd, you know, be forced to make a little bit more Zerglings or pull drones or do something. But
that's what he's looking for. Yes.
Yep. But we do see a 1-Rax expand with no gas coming out from Ryung, and again a fast expand coming from Symbol. Just pretty similar opening that we've been seeing from both players in each of these games.
Now, if Symbol, I do want to touch on something you just said. It could have been something like 2 racks pressure, proxy 2 racks, but if Symbol is really clever, he can actually go into the command center and see how many SCVs are out in the field. And if he actually counts them, which you can do a rough estimate, you can kind of feel it out once you get more experience, you will be able to tell if your opponent is capable of doing a 2 racks or not. If it's 2 racks, you have significantly less SCVs. And I'm talking like 2 or 3. Maybe even 4 SCVs that you don't have, depending on how fast you want to get it out. So that's a clear tell. Symbol is able to get in there with the drone, see everything that was basically going on, and knows, okay, it's going to be some sort of gasless fast expansion. That's why he's prepping out right now. You can see that he hasn't really mined any more gas. He's just focusing on getting drones. Where does he go from here? Some people like to go economy. Some people actually like to be aggressive with it. That's going to be the big question. Symbol, what is your style?
Right. Now, we did see the 2 quick geysers, like refineries, coming from Ryung, just like we saw in Game 2 of this series. And again, in that game, we did see a pretty nice timing push out from Ryung. So we're going to have to see if Ryung is just going to do the same build as he did before, if he's going to try to change it up. You know, we still have yet to see anything like Banshees coming out from either from Ryung. But Reactor Hellion looks more likely. We do see the factory coming. The reactor is nearly done. So we're probably going to be seeing the same build that we saw in Game 2.
Here we have it. Hellions, Reactor Hellions coming out here. We have the second barracks. So everything looks exactly like that Cloud Kingdom game. Big difference is the third. We're not in Cloud Kingdom. It's a pretty big map. You can see the third is still in a line formation. It's not nearly as advantageous as Cloud Kingdom. I would add, just because of the natural, and the third connects a lot easier. If anything, it kind of reminds me of Belshire Beach in that lineup. You can, you know, we were talking about that in the first game, where it's a line type of expansion. So mobility is going to be key, and positioning is going to be key, rather than Cloud Kingdom, where, you know, well, it is key there, but I think the options in Cloud Kingdom is a lot more. Still, I'm looking forward to see what Terran actually does to punish his opponent, or if he actually goes for punishment. I think, you know, the more standard route in a Metropolis is actually to go for a quicker third, get a faster command center, and go from there. But he's doing a kind of harass build. I don't know if it'll be as, you know, profitable on Metropolis, seeing as it's just such a big map.
Right, and here we go. We do see 4 Hellions getting into the third, or 1 Hellion, and 3 Hellions are retreating. But again, from Symbol, there's nothing. There's actually no... There's 0 Zerglings on the map, actually. Ryung could just go in to his third if he wanted, but, I mean, he probably wouldn't be able to kill the hatchery, so Symbol's okay. Ryung does back off.
So, it's interesting. I mean, what is the purpose of these 2 barracks? Right? I mean, I can understand, yes, maybe it's something like holding off all-ins, but your opponent has shown that he hasn't really done all-ins. Your Hellions give you indication if an all-in is coming. So it could just be some sort of, you know, just insurance, making sure that my opponent isn't going to do something. But no, we have a push-out. So this is a really weird push-out, and to be expanding behind us, it's like, it's all over the place. Now, thankfully for him, his opponent is going for that upgrade style yet again. He's expecting some really passive play, although he's gotten a lot more Zerglings this time around than we've seen in other games. So I think he suspects some sort of, you know, slight pressure is coming out here. Symbol might be able to take advantage of this, but I'm really confused about this push. I don't think this push makes much sense on a map like Metropolis.
Yeah, especially given that it's so big.
Exactly. It's so big, and not only that, we said that movement, you know, catching your opponent out of position is going to be the key thing, not these pushes like we saw in Cloud Kingdom. This isn't going to be too advantageous because your whole army is as slow as your slowest unit, which is the Marines, the Marauders. So the Hellions are getting rid of their mobility, basically, and now you're left with this kind of slow army that doesn't have a lot of life in it. You don't have medevacs over here, so you can't really do much.
Nice surround by Symbol, but lots of... Oh my god.
And that is probably the most beautiful thing you could possibly see in your life. All right, if you're Zerg...
If you're a Zerg.
Oh, baby.
If you're a Terran...
That's like
it's probably the worst thing you could probably see in your life.
QQ moment of the day. Oh, yeah.
And now Symbol is in a great spot. He's going to be... Yeah, he forces a cancel in that third, so... pretty much everything Ryung wanted to do did not work out right there.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's just him kind of not really playing to the map the way he should be.
It doesn't make sense to do a push like that. If you want to go double medevac production and then do some push, then yeah, that's great. Do something like that, then you can really stress your opponent out there. Maybe Hellions at the third, and then a drop going up the main. You've just spread your opponent out so much, and you can actually get away. In that position, that push, it's I'm going to win or I'm going to lose everything pretty dramatically, right? There's no escape route to that. Yep. It's I have to bank on my army being stronger, and it clearly wasn't. And it's because of the positions, right?
He lost everything. He lost very decisively there. And now Symbol is... He has a huge lead in my opinion. He's got his tech going. He's getting his fourth down. He has, if you look at his Overlord spread across the map, you know, there's no way Ryung is going to be able to drop him without Symbol having more than enough time to counter it. He's got units over across the map. His creep spread's good. Symbol's looking great. His economy 73 to 54 workers, and Ryung doesn't have that third yet because he had to cancel.
If I had to quantify it, I would say his advantage is over
9,000.
Yeah. Over 9,000. Not even close to 9,000. Way over. And the things that Ryung has to do right now to get back into this game are going to be pretty extreme. I mean, he's on 2 base for so long, his opponent is getting up to 5 bases, and he can do this on a map like Metropolis, although, you know, it does spread him out pretty thin, but I think if he gets enough spine crawlers, he has the static defense, he'll be okay. But where does Ryung go from here? Let's go into the player chem of him. What he needs to rely on are these drops to do a ton of damage. If he is not able to accomplish a lot in this, then he'll be in a ton of trouble. The main reason is because he's been on 2 base economy to 3 base economy. And even though, you know, Terran tends to have the more efficient type of, oh god, this isn't gonna work out, more efficient army trades, you don't want to be on that, you know, difference for that long. That's just not a position you want to be at. And he's soon going to find out that it's going to be approaching 5 base. He already lost that 1 medevac, and the window of opportunity is closing more and more as we see, you know.
Here comes the second drop. It is going to get work at the 5th base. It's going to come down.
Yes.
There's not really much Ryung can do at this point because, you know, Symbol has a very, very mobile army. He's got pretty Zergling heavy, and you can really swing Zerglings across bases fairly easily. And Symbol is going to be having the economy to make 3 or 4 spines at each of his bases if he so chooses, which will basically make him safe against any kind of drop play.
Yes.
Which then all he'll have to do is focus on keeping map control in the middle and just not allowing Ryung to take any additional bases. Because if Ryung just sits at 3 base, Symbol will be okay. You know, he doesn't have to. Yeah, he doesn't have to like run in, kill, try to end the game right now, because he can, you know, really play for the long game and wait for Ryung to wear himself out.
That's exactly right. I think this is probably the worst line to go through as Terran. Even though, you know, you're going to economic, you're going to play defensive for quite a long time. You're saying, okay, I want to be as cost efficient with my army as possible. But going this far in, I think with, you know, you only being on 6 gas and your opponent being on total of a potential 10 gas, that's going to create a lot of problems. You don't have the capabilities of actually going around, changing your army composition. You know. Of course, you need ghosts, you need Vikings, you need Thors, things like that to deal with the Ultralist to Broodlord composition switches. So I think if Symbol just kind of asserts his advantage with the number of gas he has and the tech that he has, he will be able to just take a decisive advantage. And if he can get any trades, it's an advantage for him, because if I'm at 5 base and you're at 3 base and we're trading, you know, equally, or even I can trade inefficiently, I will be ahead just because you cannot keep up with the amount of reproduction like I can.
Right, and if you look at Symbol's creep thread, he has creep halfway across the map. He's all the way at the Xel'Naga towers with his creep, and that is pretty good. And we do see this drop from Ryung. He's trying to do damage where he can, but he's really not able to find very many angles for which to do stuff. He's going to take out this Baneling nest, and that's pretty much it, though. And that, I mean, Symbol can remake 20 of them if he wanted to, and you know, no problem.
Yes.
And here we go. Ryung is going to gear up for a push. He's going to try to take his 4th behind this, which is really like the only thing he can do right now. He just has to hope that he can hold on and try to get to a position where he's at 4 or 5 bases himself with a maxed army. Yep. So, I mean, that's kind of what Ryung is gearing up to do. And Symbol really, at this point, I think Symbol wants to trade.
Now, what is... That's exactly right. But what is the way that he actually trades? That's going to be the big question. Does he actually just, you know, bulldoze his opponent down and try it right now? Well, I think that's definitely a big option. But 3 Ultras just popped out, so maybe you should wait for that. Or he's just going to go right now. 5-3 is actually done for him against 2-2. So this is a big timing. And you know what? Symbol might do a ton of damage right here. He's actually going to back out. The Marines and Marauders are going to swing across. The 3rd is actually completely open. I love this counterattack. But can he actually get good fungals? Yeah. Oh, nice! Fungals go down, but the Zerglings are completely out. You can see the siege tanks are still being taken out. He needs to get additional fungals. They're going to go down. Zerglings are going to stream forward, killing a couple of siege tanks here and there. But overall, I mean, you can see the upgrades definitely playing a little bit of a role in this and giving him very cost-efficient trade. Symbol, I mean, he's extending his lead. These trades like this, he's going to get even more bases. You can see this base all the way on the left-hand side. And oh my god, we're going to see some drop play. I love, oh my god, Symbol is playing so good.
Yeah, I love the fact that Symbol burrowed 2 Infestors, and he's still over there in the 3rd. He's going to be... I guess Ryung, that is going to be very surprised when he sees 5 or 6 Infested Terrans dropping down there in a minute. And yeah, lots of Overlords geared up over here by the 9 o'clock position where Symbol is trying to take a 6th base. But that being said, Ryung is going for another push across the map. They're both maxed, so Ryung really has to do something right now. He needs a decisive victory here, but I mean, lots of Ultras. Look at the unit tap. 9 Ultras. 35 Zerglings, 17 Banelings, 4 Infestors. You know, Ryung is looking good.
Do you know which Overlord
I'm sorry, Symbol's looking good.
Do you know which Overlord it's in? It's in the one in the bottom middle. That's where it is. Mr. Duran Parsi.
Oh.
Here we go. The Ultras
are up.
Ultras are pushing forward. You can see these siege tanks basically do nothing. The fungal growth will keep those units in their place. You can see that the upgrades just do so well. A recharge of a ton of Zerglings are on the way.
There's also 1 Ultralist drop down at the 4th of Ryung. 5 kills now. And we still have these 2 Infestors over at the 3rd. So we could see lots of Infested Terrans getting dropped down in a minute. looks like Symbol kind of forgot about it for the time being. Because there is an attack over here, but it looks like Symbol is going to be able to hold this off quite nicely. Ryung's supply is dropping with each passing moment. Great fungals are catching all over Ryung's units, and this is not looking good for him. Symbol is looking like he's going to even the score very soon.
Look at that. He's going to lose all of his. No, he needs another fung growth. Does he have enough? There it is. There's 3 more, it looks like. Nope. Come on. There they go. Final. I
want to see some. Oh, here come the Infested Terrans over at the third base. Lots of them getting pooped out. 8 Infested Terrans right now, and Ryung is sitting at practically no economy right now.
Look at this. Drop is gearing up. You can see just about 9 Overlords worth of units. They're going to be dropping over in the main. That's completely exposed. You can see that I don't even know where Ryung's units are. But Symbol is playing this awesome, man. He is smashing face, taking names. These Zerglings are going to drop into the main, and simultaneously there's going to be another big Zergling counter-strike. LOL. Going to the bottom right, bottom middle, whatever you want to call that. But basically he's spreading his opponent out to the point where he can't do anything more. GGO gets called out. Symbol going to take it. And tying up 2-2. Really great play coming out by him.
Yeah, so basically what's happened is this has turned into a best-of-3 situation, and Symbol has done a great job of evening up the score.
Yes, he did.
And let's just take a quick break and let's go into Game 5, see what's going to happen.
We'll be back.